everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Robbie Craig of the Flip Flop Flipper, and as you can see, we're in a different place. We're here with Davin Michaels, my friend, and we're gonna talk about something that's really kind of fun and different, right? So normally we talk about real estate projects and things going on the island of Puerto Rico, but today we're with Davin Michaels. He is an expert community builder and connector, and he's putting on something called the San Juan Social Club Cruise.
Yeah, and we'll just kind of fill you in if you don't know about it. So I've been here on the island for about 7 years. How long have you been here? 5?
7 years.
7 years, yeah, same amount of time. So when we first got to the island, I started a little group to just bring people together, to bring us, transplants or expats, if you want to call us that, together with the locals for food, conversation. From there, anything's possible, right?
Yeah.
Everything's possible from there. And I did it because I wanted to create something easy and frictionless. Like if you ask somebody, hey, let's go grab a bite to eat, nobody's going to say, oh, I don't eat. Right? It's like, you know, so I just made it like, so there's no barrier to entry. It was for everybody. And so once a month, I do free events as a public service just to bring everyone together. Fast forward, you know, over 6 years later, we have right around 3,000 people in the San Juan Social Club, and it's growing all the time, which is really neat. And so then a couple years ago, I was like, I had this idea when I first got to the island that I wanted to do a group cruise to bring everyone together also. And so last year, we did the first San Juan Social Club cruise, which you were on it. We had 238 cruisers. We had a blast. Our cruisers did about $110 million in deals between each other. We had speakers. We had fun. It was awesome. And now we're getting ready in 60 days to go on our next San Juan Social Club cruise, which is annual. We have almost 450 people. We'll probably have 500 with your community.
I hope so. Yeah.
And yeah, it's awesome.
I can't let that just slip by what he just said, though, guys. $110 million worth of new
that was cool.
deals were done because of relationships that got built on this cruise.
Yeah, it was neat.
And I've told you this, Davin. I went on the cruise with completely different expectations.
Right.
I wasn't there to invest money. I wasn't there to do business. We were just taking a break.
Yeah.
And so for the first half of the cruise, we stayed in the cabin. We did our own thing. We kind of knew there was this other thing going on. And still, by the end of it, once we figured it out, we met a ton of great people. I ended up doing, I guess I've done about $500,000 worth of business with one partner that I met on the cruise. There were actually a couple of other things that I got really interested in. It didn't end up that I made the investment, but just an amazing time, an amazing group of people. One thing that I love about you, and since I've been becoming friends with you and watching you, you are a super connector. You are like a matchmaker. And when Davin calls and says, Robbie, I want you to meet this person, I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm meeting that person.
Yeah.
That's what you've set up, and you did it all in a way that was so easy. Just, hey, come have a cigar, come have dinner.
So I have to tell you how
and it was free.
I have to tell you how that came to pass. You know, so many of my best ideas are not my ideas, okay? So Liz, my girlfriend, reminded me the other day that the idea of the cruise was actually her idea. I forgot. And I always tell people, if somebody gives me a great idea, I will give them credit for it until such time as I forget, and then I'll take all the credit, right? Yeah. But this idea also was not a new idea for me. So years and years ago, we used to live in LA, and I had a friend, Brian, who did this event, and he called it like a networking event. And it was big. He would do it like at a nightclub once a month. It was right around happy hour, and he'd fill up the place. And he built it as a networking event, but it was just a bunch of young entrepreneurs getting together and hooking up. It was totally social. And we used to make fun of him behind his back. that it wasn't a serious business event, right? Well, fast forward decades later, he has the biggest incubator in LA.
Wow.
And it came from that. And that's when I had that realization that, you know, social is frictionless. Whereas business, sometimes people are like, oh, I'm not doing business right now, or I'm not interested in that or this. But everybody eats, most people drink, and then from there, anything's possible. Right.
You know, and if you go on an adventure and go cave tubing on a cruise with a group of people, you're going to remember that kind of experiential event is just far more powerful in your mind. You're going to remember it forever than going and sitting down and watching someone talk on a stage.
Well, absolutely. So again, I never have original ideas, right? I just copy other people's. That's not true. I do have original ideas. But this idea for the cruise came from another group cruise that I've spoken on for the last decade called the Marketers Cruise. And they are now in their 18th year, which is unbelievable. And there were three byproducts of speaking on this cruise for me, or just being on the cruise. One is I made tens of millions of dollars from those connections over the decade. Two, because it was a global audience, I made all these joint venture deals with people from all over the world. They went back and spread the message of me to their respective country, and I became a global brand in my space, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And then three, all of those people became our best friends.
Right.
And the reason why is exactly what you said. Is like if you and I jump on a Zoom call, that's one thing. If you and I have a meal together, we bond. But if we spend a week together, cruising and having great adventures, we become best friends. And we all want to do business with our best friends. And when you do that too, you go deeper, you learn more, you see people's pain points and where there's opportunities. And then if you do it every year, then they all become your best friends. And that's what's going to happen. Because I have the crystal ball. I've lived this for the last decade. I know what's coming.
So if we did $110 million worth of business last year and we double it in size, the amount of people, we can
be a quarter billion. There's that number again.
Quarter million. That's
quarter.
recurring,
Quarter billion.
Quarter billion.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly,
250 million.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Let's talk about, I want to talk more about the San Juan Social Club Cruise. And guys, this video, by the end of it, I want to invite you to come with us on the San Juan Social Club Cruise. And you can do that through the Flip Flop Flipper community or from our Apex group. What I want to talk to Davin about right now is the importance kind of networking. I've always been a networker naturally, but watching Davin and being a part of the San Juan Social group, just the San Juan Social Club, and seeing how much business gets done through this, I'm now living into it as I'm becoming a community builder. I believe one of the most powerful things that you can do in life is network.
I totally agree with that. And what's crazy is we had Christopher Rivera here on the show the other day, and he said the single greatest thing that ever happened in my business was the San Juan Social Club. He said, I have hundreds and hundreds of connections now that I didn't have before. And I just think that is so freaking cool. And I think probably this whole connector thing might have been an overcompensation for me because when I started my business at 15 years old, I had nothing. I had no money. I had no resources. I had no knowledge. I had nothing. And I didn't go to I always say if I had to do all over again, I would have gone to an Ivy League school, not necessarily for the education, but for the network. Yes, the connections, right? I had no connections. And I wanted that so bad. And it took me like decades to figure out the formula, which is really funny. And it was a different world back then too. We didn't have all these incredible communications tools that we have today. But now, today, I've got I feel like I'm just a few levels away from just about anybody I need to get to. I know presidents, I know celebrities, and everybody in between. And it is powerful. I just happen to do it because I love it. I love people. I love to get to know people, what they're doing, and that's what juices me and excites me. But it's got a cool byproduct too, because your network is your net worth. And that, by the way, is if you're a real estate investor or you want to be a real estate investor, that's why you want to focus on this. I'll say it again: your network is your net worth.
Right.
So if you're doing real estate deals, it comes down to what, three things? You're looking for deals, money, and what, resources or what have you, right?
So that's what we say: deal first, right? Go get the deal and then bring it to your community or your network.
And you'll get the money.
And then where do you get your network? Well, you come on the San Juan Social Club Cruise and you start building a network from 500 entrepreneurs, which leads me to my next question. And it's about networking on this cruise. Besides real estate, which I hope to have a bunch of people who are interested in real estate on the cruise, what other kind of entrepreneurs are going to be on this? Yeah,
so we have all types. So I would say 85% of our people, maybe even 90%, are entrepreneurs. Others are just executives, and I know we have some doctors and lawyers, and we have other people that are interested in entrepreneurship. It's a great group. I will tell you, the people that really, on the networking side, the people that really thrived were the people that had great deals, like properties or maybe investment opportunities. And I will say there's quite a bit of money on the cruise. There's a lot of people that have money that are looking to deploy it into worthwhile investments, things that impact the community as well. And I like to say that we're the movers, shakers, and change makers of Puerto Rico.
You had people on the cruise that could write
Big checks.
fat checks.
Yeah.
Not
And some of them were, which was really cool.
Yeah, not $25,000 or
Right,
$250,000 check, but big checks.
Yeah,
Big checks.
yeah.
And that's
But I
pretty
find-
cool to be in a room like that. I liked being there, not asking anybody for anything, and just meeting people, and then later on,
Yeah.
it comes back to you.
And also, for sure, the more you give, the more you get. And also those guys and gals that like to write, or that can write big checks, they also like to write small ones too, right? They like
Yeah.
to dabble and do things that are fun and exciting and interesting. And real estate's always really interesting.
Well, I'm doing something from the cruise with John.
Oh yeah, John Quinlan.
John Quinlan.
Yeah,
John
yeah,
Quinlan.
and his daughter, right?
So what I wanted to say about my partnership with John
Yeah.
is that probably the smallest check he's written in
That's cool.
in a long time, right? Like, so
Yeah.
he's got this little
And these are big checks.
$250,000 deal going on with Robbie, probably like a blip on his radar,
Right,
but
right.
it's pretty cool.
That's
The
great.
stuff he's doing is way bigger than the stuff I'm doing, and so I'm in business with that guy.
Yeah, and also you can certainly attest to this. Deals lead to deals. So
Yes.
like you do a deal with John and he makes some money on it, then the floodgates open.
That's right.
With every single investor. And by the way, that's in any deal. So it's like you start getting returns for your investors and everybody starts bringing money to you.
For those people that don't understand the power of networking, I'm not sure how businesses can even exist or thrive without it. You want to talk a little bit about that?
100%. So, you know what's funny is for years and years, because I'm a marketing guy. And so for years and years and years, I would always say that that the key to business is marketing. That if you have a ton of leads and business coming through your door, if your bank accounts are overflowing with money, that you can probably buy yourself out of just about any challenge that you might face in your business.
Yeah.
And I have revamped that. I've revamped that because it's all about your network. Business is about relationships because those relationships will bring you the money, they'll bring you the deals, they'll bring you the resources, right? It's all about relationships, and the deeper you can take those relationships, the more fruitful they're going to be. So we certainly want you to come on the cruise because that's where really the gold is. But if you can't make the cruise, we can still drop you in the San Juan Social Club, and you can come to our monthly
Absolutely,
events,
yeah.
and then you'll end up on one of our cruises.
And you're having an
eventually.
event this weekend, right?
We are this weekend in Rincon. By the time you see this, it probably will have
I'm going to
passed,
try to have
right?
this out by Tuesday.
Okay,
because
cool.
We're
I'll get it
time
to you.
sensitive for the cruise.
Great.
But yeah, it'll be past that already.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
That's too
yeah,
bad.
yeah.
But
But we'll be doing more
You
every
do
month.
them all the time.
Yeah, every
They're
month.
great events. If you're on the island, yes, join the San Juan Social Club. You have a WhatsApp channel that's always
do.
letting people know what's going on.
Yeah.
And
And oh yeah, you can join if you go to sjsocialclub.com. But if that's wrong, just Google San Juan Social Club.
San Juan
and
Social
you'll
Club.
get there.
Oh,
Yeah.
You're on Eventbrite. You're on WhatsApp. You're on all kinds of things.
Just Google it and it
Yeah.
will pop up. And the events are always free, unless it's a charitable event, because we do 3 types of events. So we do social, learning, and social impact, if you will. So if it's a charity event, there might be like a small fee or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the cruise.
Yeah.
And what can people who might come to network with us and hang out with us.
Yeah.
And guys, if you're a part of my community and you want to be able to know where I am for a week and have access to me, this is the best place that you could think of this year.
Yeah.
To get 7 days of
You'll be stuck with
access.
Robbie,
Yeah.
which is that's pretty awesome. Well, actually, I will have 7 days with Robbie. That'll be awesome. Yeah. So on the cruise, we have speakers. We do just a few hours of programming on our days at sea. So that's where you'll have the speakers. But then also there's just tons of like mini networking masterminds that are going on. Everybody's, and it's all facilitated through our WhatsApp group. So that's going on. Meals are all together with our people. We take the excursions as well. All of the tours are with our people. We don't go through Virgin on the tours. They're our own tours. And so you're just hanging out with the guys and gals from the San Juan Social Club. You're getting to know each other. You're becoming fast friends. And then, you're doing deals too. And
Yeah.
it's pretty powerful.
That's right.
Yeah.
You get the experiential things of being able to go on adventures
Yeah.
and have meals together. I mean, it's an amazing time. If you guys are interested in that, we'll put a link in the video here, but also you can reach out to me on school or through email, however you normally get a hold of me.
Yeah, and also I will say one thing: if you've never cruised before, well, you're in for a treat. But if you have cruised before, and maybe you like cruising, maybe you don't, we're on Virgin, and Virgin has reinvented the cruising game for adults. Had you been on a cruise prior to Virgin?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. And
But
you would admit totally different,
Virgin's
right?
different,
Yeah. So basically,
No kids.
Yeah, no kids. So there's no kids. There's no dining room. They're all specialty restaurants. They're all Michelin-inspired menus. They're all included, which is cool. No upsells there. Even your bar tab is pretty much included because you get a huge tab. There's no announcements like, good morning, this is your cruise director. Nope. It's kind of like being on a boutique Miami hotel on the ocean, right?
Yeah.
Super chill. Richard Branson showed up. Did you see him?
I didn't see him.
Yeah,
I wanted to.
He pulled up on his catamaran.
Yeah.
That was pretty dope.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll get him to just come hang out and do a session or something.
That would be awesome.
That'd be pretty neat. Yeah.
Who's going to be speaking?
Let's see. We have Robbie Prager. Yep. We have Alberto Bacco, who's former Secretary of Economic Development and former head of the Puerto Rico Economic Development Bank. We have Tito Colorado, another former Secretary of Economic Development and former Secretary of Puerto Rico, our man in Washington. We have Jeff Hazlett, who I absolutely adore. Jeff, former CMO of Kodak and CEO of C-Suite Network. Brock Pierce is scheduled. You never know whether Brock will show or not, but last year he did speak. And then let's see, we have Michael Turpin. So if you're a crypto person, you certainly know Michael. Just being able to have Michael sequestered on a ship for a week is absurdly, incredibly valuable. Louis Lamba just walked into our studio. He'll probably be speaking. Who else do we have? We have some cool people. We have Tom Matson.
Tom was very good last year.
Yep. We have Rich Harmon, who'll be talking about ESOPs. Rich is incredible.
That's who I just met.
You just met Rich.
Yeah.
Yep. Trying to think. Oh, we have Charna Boquette from Vimenti Boys and Girls Club. We have Chin Yao from PR I Love You. I'm going to be speaking about my new charity that I'm going to launch in Puerto Rico, which I'm excited about. Eyes Over Puerto Rico. We're going to give LASIK surgeries to underserved communities.
Wow.
Yep, it's pretty neat. And let's see, I'm sure I'm leaving out some other. Oh yeah. We have Dave Stack. Dave Stack is amazing. Oh, I'm connecting you with Dave.
Okay.
I've already told Dave about you, so you'll dig this. So Dave Stack. I met Dave in 2009, but I'll back up a little bit. So Dave is an economist. He's a real estate investor and lender. And so he employs a team that studies the market. And so in about 2005 or 6, he started calling the bubble, okay? And every year he would speak at Harvard. And in either 05 or 06, they told him not to come back. Yeah, because he started calling the bubble.
Wrong.
And the market was like robust, and cats were getting mortgages, and so they said don't come back. And so right around maybe 2006 or 7, he went to cash. And then I met him in 2009 when he was buying up Vegas at 10 to 30 cents on the dollar. He bought over 1,200 properties and made a fortune. And that's why he ended up being one of the very first decree holders here in Puerto Rico. He's been here like 11 years. And his son, Josh, is on his second unicorn now. His son Blake is amazing. I mean, they're doing some incredible stuff. So he's going to be talking about private lending.
So it's a private lending.
Yes.
So it's a star-studded.
Star-studded cast of
speakers.
It really is.
Yeah,
guys. It really is.
You don't want to miss it.
No.
We're also thinking of doing a kind of a pre-cruise thing.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to you about this, but through my community, we've sort of soft launched it or said, hey, if 5 or 10 people want to come ahead of time, we'll white glove you from the airport to a spot and take you around the island and show you Puerto Rico before you go on the cruise.
That'd be awesome. And then maybe, you do something the day before the cruise and then lead it up into our Bon Voyage party, which is in the evening.
That's right.
The evening before the cruise.
So we're thinking flying in 2 nights before the cruise and having a whole day with us, and then Bon Voyage party, and then the next day the cruise.
It's funny. You're not the only person doing that. So Jeff Hazlett is going to do that.
Okay.
Jeremiah Demaray will be doing that. We also have Chris. I just remember there's another speaker, Chris Gaddis from Capstone. He's not doing the group thing, but he'll be an amazing speaker as well.
Okay.
So, yeah, star-studded cast.
That's awesome, guys. Don't miss the San Juan Social Cruise.
San Juan Social Club Cruise. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it goes on March
15th through the 22nd.
Yeah.
Yep. And then who knows? You might see this living on YouTube and be like, well, that passed. Well, it's an annual event, so
yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll make sure that we have all of the links in the description,
for sure,
and we will get you connected. So we hope to see you there. Davin, thanks so much.
Thanks,
man.
amigo. Always a
Appreciate it.
pleasure.
I look forward to this, man.
It's going to be a good one.
I'm going to do it different this year than I did last year.
I can't wait.
I'm networking the whole time.
That's going to be awesome. All right. Well, we look forward to seeing you on the cruise.
All right.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.
See ya.